What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 with our Iron Man Japanese playthrough. Now, it looks like the Dominion of Canada is certainly going to fall, and obviously the United States has already lost almost all of Washington and obviously bits and pieces of Idaho. We are moving into Montana, but we do have 500 army experience. I do want to go ahead and use that up. We are, of course, waiting for our heavy tanks to be unlocked. Now, of course, we still have one more heavy tank to unlock, the 1943 version, before we can finally use all of our army experience on our modern tanks, which of course is going to be about a year until we can actually get our modern tanks. So let's use all of our army experience, at least for now, and get a better variant of our light tank. Let's go ahead and remove all of our planes, all of our artillery, and we have the light tank that hasn't had any type of variance at all. Let's go ahead, give it the most reliability possible, give it the best weapons possible, and I guess a little bit of armor probably isn't that bad. It now has 12% more reliability, better soft attack, better hard attack, and obviously about 10% more armor. The piercing is better as well. And now we will create the Mach 1 light tank variable. We are going to lose a small amount of production, only about 5%, but it obviously isn't that bad. And now we are making around almost 10 a day, so it obviously isn't a bad plan. I do want to create as many modern tanks as we can, and basically why I'm saying this is when we go to war against the German Reich, or better yet, if we go to war against the German Reich, they have more military factories than I do, and I have more civilian factories. Let's go ahead and select our research slots one more time, and then I can go ahead and verify that information. Let's actually get better engineering companies. That's going to be our #1 priority, unless we can get the jet tactical bomber. I think I do want those as soon as possible. Now, let's go ahead and look at the German Reich. All they have to do is basically take out the United Kingdom, which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon because they only have about 53 naval dockyards and 20 actual ships. So they aren't really focusing on their navy that much. But they have 400, excuse my loudness, 400 military factories, which I only have 273. So they have almost 25% more military factories than I do. We are obviously building up our civilian factories. They have 310, while we have 282. We are out of manpower, so that's a big issue. And they have more planes than I do. So I am obviously very concerned. Now, if I basically secure all of the US and secure all of Canada, you know, before the war ends, I could try to just rip out as many resources as I can and basically just pummel them into modern tanks. And now if I could get around 72 divisions of modern tanks, we should be able to just roll straight through all of Russia and then basically eliminate the German Reich from the east. Now, the reason why I want to take over Russia first is because, first off, it's very wide. If I could secure all of Kamchatka, we wouldn't have to worry about any type of naval invasions. And basically, there is a hell of a lot of steel all inside Siberia. And basically inside other little provinces like Crimea, inside Ukraine. You know, we have some steel. But if we look at the Japanese border, look at all of the steel and chromium. If we could just secure maybe 100 steel, we would easily be able to get a heck of a lot of, you know, modern tanks. So here we stand. We basically have reorganized our, you know, our Marines here. And I think I actually am going to exercise these guys. They haven't actually, you know, sent out their, you know, plan, their naval invasion. But I believe they are still preparing, and I think they've got around 30 days left. So I believe in next month we are going to activate this naval invasion. We aren't going to go for the ports themselves this time. We're going to go between Los Angeles and San Diego, and therefore, basically, once we land inside California, 350 oil, oh my god. Once we land inside California, if we could basically secure a foothold, we will not be able to get pushed out of here. Okay, we have some free dockyards, but unfortunately no free steel. And here we are. Let us go ahead. Do you have any free military factories? Not really. We will very soon. Basically, once I get the better fighter aircraft, we can save a bunch of aluminum, and therefore we can create more jet fighters. And finally use all this air experience. Now, the idea would be to obviously improve range and improve reliability. And basically, also, where we stand right now is we have a plan, but it's not activated. And I think all we're going to do is wait for all of our preparation. Most of our units are prepped and ready to go, and they're actually gaining quite a bit of dig-in. But we obviously have a few units that are in the back, which I guess is really only 2 units. So without further ado, on the 5th of March, we are finally going to just declare our invasion. The entire plan is going to be activated, and we are going to be put on aggressively execute. I have no idea how well this invasion will work. Looks like we are winning quite a few fights, actually most, except for here inside the mountainous terrains, and obviously through the river isn't working too well. Okay, outdated equipment, still a lot of our shipyards. I can't wait to finally have a surplus of infantry equipment. It says we're finally making more, but obviously for about the last few weeks, wow, we are losing all of these fights. Throughout the last few weeks, we obviously were running out of infantry equipment, and we were lacking about 60,000. But now that we are out of actual population, we are going to have to improve our conscription laws. We need 150 political power, and we are going to move from extensive conscription to service by requirement. Now, unfortunately, our factory output and our dockyard output is going to go down, which is very, very bad, but we are going to have a massive amount of manpower, which we obviously are going to need. Here it is, service by requirement. We now have 4 million manpower, and I'm a little worried that these guys are pushing too far. It might be a good idea to secure a new airfield. If I could secure that airfield, it would be very, very nice. Let us now continue working on our new heavy tank, 155 days. We are not pushing all that well. Still lacking a lot of infantry equipment, though our light tanks aren't going the right way either. We have a lot of artillery. We could obviously use some of that. Or better yet, I don't even know if we need to produce artillery anymore. This can be removed completely. Let's change to motorized rocket artillery. And now we have extra steel. This can go to the very bottom. And then this can go up. And because we now have extra steel, all of our new factories can basically promote and produce infantry equipment. Yeah, only 5 extra steel. I need this airbase, and now that I have it, let's throw in about 1,000 fighters. I have nothing to do with them, or nothing to really use them for. And I think we're going to put them over the central USA. Can I build air bases anywhere closer to central USA? I could, but I guess for the time being, let's split these in half, if I can somehow. I don't know if I can. Oh my goodness. Hold air, here it is, destroy. So what I'm gonna, wow. Oh yes, 1,400 airbase, exactly what I thought it was. Thought it'd be 1,000 is obviously our limit. Let's put in about 500. And another 500. Now the goal is to put people over the Rocky Mountains and over the central USA. Setting our limits and setting our limit. You will go to central USA, air superiority, and you will go over the Rocky Mountains, air superiority. All we gotta do is focus on not losing this area, which I guess really shouldn't be that hard. You all should push in. You can stay. All of you need to push in here. So now we're assaulting from both sides. We should be able to win. At least I hope so. It would be much easier, and it looks like we're going after a town here in Montana. Great Falls. At least I hope it's in Montana. Yes, it is. I'm from Florida, so the geography of the northern states is obviously different than what I'm used to. Looks like the Free France, Italy, and the United Kingdom are still pushing to the best of their abilities. They're obviously still covering most of Sicily, and obviously Corsica, Sardinia, and the Baleares is owned by the United States, the Balearic Isles. All 20 of our Marines are prepped and ready to go, and it looks like we have the ability to activate our plan, but I don't think I will until we have full organization. I'm going to be a little upset if we still need more naval dockyards before we can continue the push. I have... What can I do? I need more infantry equipment desperately. We don't really need any more artillery. Obviously, we have a massive surplus. I don't even know if we need this many motorized, but obviously we're losing motorized and not building. We're not gaining a surplus, so I'm guessing keeping all of our production where it is. Okay, where is our airbase? Here it is. We managed to secure the Great Falls. Let's go ahead and switch back to a balanced manner. Looks like we are a logistics wizard now, and a fast planner. I'm really liking that. Everybody seems to be doing quite well. We have, obviously, air superiority over all three of these branches. I do want to go ahead and set up my naval invasion. My organization appears to be almost at full capacity due to our new naval bases, which is quite nice. And let us activate this plan. We are now going to try for the naval invasion. If we could remove Los Angeles and San Diego, things would obviously look much, much better for us. And then, obviously, we could throw in some additional planes, but we already have air superiority over all of these regions. But I think their range isn't that great, yeah, so maybe even putting in some additional planes from the other end. At least the southern border of California might not be such a bad plan. Can we build additional infrastructure in Montana? Yes, we can. Let's push you all the way to the top. And it looks like we are still building civilian factories, still building our military factories, and additional infrastructure. We are going to need to build some radar stations as well, which actually probably would be a really good idea. Let's build one. I would like to build one in Montana as soon as possible. And we'll push that all the way to the top because that is going to be our #1 priority. But I feel like by the time it gets constructed, all of our units will probably be down by the Mississippi River. Here comes our naval invasion. Now, we aren't going into an actual port, so everybody should land at once rather than attacking one at a time. There it goes. Let's give you now a new new offensive line. Activate that when you're ready, and our #1 priority is going to be taking San Diego. So that way we don't lose any type of supply issues. And now that we have the port of San Diego, which actually was a garrison, which is obviously very odd. Ace Pilot has been promoted. Everybody else seems to be doing very, very well, and actually they've stopped advancing altogether, which makes me a little concerned. Motorized rocket artillery finally giving a positive number, making around 6 a day. Still losing a lot of infantry equipment and still losing light tanks. Can we take Los Angeles? I guess that is the question. I wish a few of these units would move over, but they continue to push, and I don't know if I like that. Taking Los Angeles would be very, very nice. And it looks like we're winning. We obviously have light tanks. They have light tanks as well, but we have more. And here comes Los Angeles. I'm wondering, this was a very powerful city, almost the second most powerful city in the U.S., how close are they to capitulation? Almost 30%. Fall of Los Angeles. After establishing a foothold on the American mainland, Japanese forces have converged on Los Angeles and routed the city's defenders. A long procession of Imperial troops marched down Central Avenue this afternoon, while Japanese newsreels photographers filmed the event. Before American forces retreated, fighting was reportedly fierce in several areas of the city. Hollywood suffered particularly heavy damage, and many Japanese officers have had their pictures taken in front of the perforated and crumbling Hollywood sign. Well, that's kind of funny. How is the... It looks like most of the U.S. troops are taking attrition. But I think we are going to go ahead and activate our plan. It's already activated, but it seems like we've stopped moving altogether. Can all 72 of you jump on this plan and activate? I wonder why we're going this way. I wish we could figure out a better way to make this happen. Okay, well now that we have most of Southern California, we already own, obviously, all of Los Angeles. I think our next goal will be to obviously take San Francisco, try to meet up both of these fronts, and then just push through Arizona, then to New Mexico, and then on into Texas. Now, if we could take Dallas and Houston, And we would obviously be doing very, very well. This should be Dallas. Yes, it is. Yep, Dallas, and then Houston, and then, what is this town? San Antonio. I've been there. Okay, still working on a radar dish. We already have a level 1 radar. So not bad, but I want it to be far superior than what we're already using. I wish these guys would just attack. Can they move in? Is it going to be successful? It says less than a day, but I highly doubt that. They have light tanks. If they had heavy tanks, this would be very, very challenging. And eventually, I guess we can move on into Oregon and try to take most of the coastline. Here comes all of Washington. And then finally, we can focus on building up this infrastructure. It's obviously crumbling, and it could be a lot better. Our air base is doing as phenomenal as ever. All of you can move in. All of you can move in. All of you can move in. It says we're winning in almost every area, but sometimes I find that hard to believe. You two can move here. You two can move here. You all, I guess, can move into Wyoming. And it looks like there's a fort here. A level 1 fort inside the plains. Well, that was easy. There goes their level 1 fort. Very, very weak. Okay, we have free military factories again, and we have some actual steel. So I suppose let's build more infantry equipment because we can never have enough. Well, obviously we can have enough, but we are in such a big deficit right now that it says it's only going to take about 35 days. But I do want about 50,000 manpower before I finally switch over to modern tanks. Or better yet, I think what I will do is I will continue to construct as much equipment as I possibly can. And after I take over Canada and maybe half of the US and we know victory is imminent, we will probably then switch over to modern tanks. Though, unfortunately, it's probably going to take some time before we can actually accumulate enough tanks to make divisions. So maybe starting earlier might not be such a bad idea. Naval battles anywhere and everywhere. I kind of don't even want to click all of them. Most of them have been successes, except for some Battle of the Western Seaboards have been some defeats. Unread naval battles again, doing... Oh, you know, those were probably convoy ratings. And I would like better radar dishes. It says we only have 21% radar coverage inside this central USA. So obviously building up our resources might not be a bad idea. Everybody needs to crumble in and basically collapse on the enemy here. We should be able to push them out. 87% chance of success. And obviously we are now having a pincer formation. Can we build better infrastructure? Yes, we can. We're using so many resources. But obviously Japan and all of Asia, all of India, all of Iran, all of Vietnam, all of Siam, all of Australia. The Japanese Empire is fairly large, and I'm not really scared of anything except for the German Reich. But I think my biggest concern, if somehow the German Reich, yeah, they're not even really fighting a war. They obviously own all of Europe, so all they really need to do is just continue building up their resources to the best of their ability. Italy, of course, is still fighting in Africa. And I think what I'm going to do is once I unlock the modern tanks, I'm just going to be building up as many modern tanks as I can get my hands on. And obviously mechanized would be fairly powerful as well. And then I am going to just plow my way through the German Reich. I have no idea how well that will work or if at all. But I guess that's going to be my primary goal. Now, obviously, we have a lot of tungsten, but I believe modern tanks don't require tungsten. I believe they require less steel, but more chromium. So obviously, our heavy tanks are going to require a lot of steel and less chromium. But now it's going to be flipped. So our modern tanks will require less steel and now more chromium. So obviously, that'll be good for our steel. Which is going to be very useful. And the modern tanks are actually about equivalent to the heavy tanks, and they cost a little bit less to produce. Obviously, they have a little less armor, but everything is about the same. They even have, I believe, better speed, which is going to be useful as well. Still pushing in to Saskatchewan. Can I build infrastructure? Probably not. But, ooh, we pushed into Arizona. Let's bring you on up to level 10 infrastructure. And are we missing about 35 days of infantry equipment? It is going down despite having negative numbers here. So that is nice to see. And the only other thing that we really need is just light tanks. So I'm guessing, well, we do have extra steel now. Let's work on more light tanks. I have nothing really else to unlock. And I need the Mach 1. Ah, we have a light tank Mach 2. Am I... really? That's odd. I was unaware of that. Let's get the Mach 2. I wonder if it's any better. We have a 255 versus a... that doesn't make any sense. We have a 255 and a 255. So we have a Mach 1 and a Mach 2, light tank 3, light tank 3. There is really no difference, but I guess we will get the Mach 2. Mach 2, Mach 2, Mach 2. And obviously what's nice is once we take over all of Oregon, we are going to get more military factories and civilian factories. Because we've taken over much of San Francisco, or better yet, much of California, we're getting all of their factories as well. So that's going to be very nice. It's going to improve our industry as much as possible. We are building our military factories up. We're getting more civilian factories as well. San Francisco has now fallen. 25 victory points. I do want to move across as quickly as I can. And all of these units seem to have stopped in their tracks. Are we still working on... yes, we are. We are working on our mobile warfare doctrines. I need those as quickly as I can. I want Blitzkrieg because all of our tanks would get better pushing, better breakthrough, better organization, which means more health, better recovery, and of course more organization and better tactics. So all of those would be very, very useful. It is just going to be a little bit of a challenge pushing on through. So all of you guys are on aggressively, not aggressive, you're on balance because I want you guys to have organization. It looks like people are not really moving. So maybe finally putting it on aggressively execute might finally work. I don't know. It looks like a lot of these guys are being successful. Except a few places where they have 7 tanks. We finally have almost a surplus of infantry equipment. We do definitely have a surplus of motorized artillery now. And I wonder if we really need this many motorized units. We could switch over one. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Basically what I was saying is I wonder if switching over to mechanized and starting to build up those might be a good idea. But instead of switching over, I think I'll just build more. Now, the idea behind that is I don't want to lose production efficiency while we push through the U.S., because I really only have around 18,000. It doesn't seem like that's a lot because we're losing about 400 a day. So really, I think this will last about 10 months if I halt all of my production. Wow, did I do that right? 400 a day. So 3 days is 1,000. 18 times 3. Wow, about 3 months. Not 10. So, you know, therefore, 10 months would definitely be enough to take the U.S. But from what I think what I'll do, the best option is to produce new mechanized infantry equipment rather than obviously continue to push, or better yet, to change all of our production in general. Okay, so all of our Marines now need a new offensive line. I guess we are going to push to Texas. And activate when you are ready. I'm wondering. Actually, let's cancel this. Let's remove all of these pockets of resistance first. It's not much, but let's get it started. What is this line? And activate when you are ready. And obviously, once we take over all of these areas, we will create a new front line to make things easier and more efficient. Outdated equipment, we have maximum air experience, which I am going to just pummel into all of our new jet fighters. Which we actually aren't building a lot of. Actually getting jet tactical bombers and putting all of our experience into putting all of our experience into our jet tactical bombers would probably be our best option. And I think from now on, because we aren't really we have a lot of naval bombers that aren't really necessary. Let's save a few of these, save a few extra factories. These naval bombers aren't going to be useful anymore because we're now going to be using jets. So, now we have a bunch of free factories. I lied, we have no free factories, because they're all being put into light tanks, which I suppose isn't bad either. All of our new planes are going to be jet tactical bombers, at least for now. And like I said, all of our air experience will go into better range, better reliability. I don't necessarily need more damage. All I want to do is just get a better presence of jet tactical bombers inside a lot of these areas. And what's nice is their range is absolutely phenomenal. They have a range of 1,800 kilometers, which is a lot less than what I was expecting. Well, at least we can improve the range later. I lied. I thought it went up substantially. But I guess not. Maybe I'm thinking of the strategic bomber, 7,000 kilometers, which is very, very high. Okay, looks like in about 2 days, our jet tactical fighters will be ready. 316 army experience. I want about 500 so we can invest in our modern tanks. We now have our jet aircraft. Let us begin. It's 1945. I'm guessing improved infantry equipment might not be a bad... I lied. Let's get mechanized because I need those. And now, looking at our production, we no longer need fighter 3s when we can get jet fighters. And we have saved a bunch of aluminum. You will now be a jet fighter 1. You will push to the top. I wish we could basically improve all of our weaker fighters, but I guess that's not really going to happen. You know, I don't like necessarily having a bunch of interwar fighters that I will never use again. I'm obviously building a bunch of carrier bombers that I will really never use either. Yeah, don't get me wrong, like, we are going to need them eventually against, you know, Japan, but I'm wondering if that's really necessary. I'm Japan. Against Germany. Man, I have been playing for a long time. But, now I'm just starting to ramble. Now we have our radar. It is obviously a lot better than before. But obviously, because, you know, we're continuing to push, it's not as efficient as we thought it would be. Basically, the radar range is almost to the extent of all of our progress. As the radar gets stronger and stronger and more efficient, it'll probably move out to here. But we're almost at that location. We'll probably be near the Mississippi by December. Everybody seems to be doing very, very well. Let's take a quick glance at the U.S. They are at 43% towards capitulation. I don't think there's really any other major cities here. Inside California, inside Oregon. We are going to have to go into Texas very, very soon. There are a lot of major victory points, such as, this is Dallas, we have Houston, and then we have San Antonio. Now, we do want to go for 20 victory points all the way over here, 30 victory points. By the time we push all the way through the U.S., I think we are obviously going to force them to capitulate. 3 military factories. Let's start working on our jet tactical bombers, which we don't really have any of. Can we get those in 3 days? Yes, we can. I want to improve the range and reliability, like I said. And I'm probably just going to be building a bunch of jet tactical bombers as well, probably around 3 lines. I have 150 political power. I do need to go ahead and use that. Here is our jet tactical bomber. Can we get better air doctrines? Yes, we can. 15% more air superiority. Let's look at our production. You can now be a jet tactical bomber with maximum reliability, because that's the most important thing, and then more range, as much as we can afford. Well, that wasn't very helpful. Basically, we have a bunch of additional range and almost 50% more range. That's very, very good. Let's save this. And I do want to go ahead. Can I improve any jets with my political power? I have no idea. All of our naval bombers and carrier bombers are better. Can I get heavy fighter tactical bombers? I don't know if any of these affect jets. I have no idea. Well, I'm going to improve the fighter. I wonder if it says tactical bomber anywhere. More reliability. Let's get this. I have no idea. This needs to be changed. Jet tactical bomber. Yeah, I don't see the emblem, so I'm not even sure that it is going to be improved. Like, see how there's an emblem here? I'm guessing these guys are getting more armor and more reliability or something along those lines. Okay, it is the 3rd of August, 1945, and we are continuing to push. And sadly enough, I think I am going to have to end this episode. We haven't necessarily done all that much, but I guess in the next, episode, I'm hoping that the US and Canada are going to fall. Looking at our logistics, we finally almost have a surplus of infantry equipment, and we are still working on our light tanks. It's just they are being destroyed almost quicker than we can produce them. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will see you in our next adventure.